Hey guys, what is going on? Hope you're doing good out there. I just want to say that it's been a really long time since I've uploaded a video. There was so much shit on my phone, so much space I had to clear up to just give me enough space on my phone to make a video. It's ridiculous, man. I don't know what it is, but it's crazy. You go through your phone, you start going through all these old photos, all these little like snapshots you've taken, all this music you've downloaded, and you start to realize how much shit that you have on there you don't need. Like, you don't need all these photos, all these snapshots of like these little memes, or like this one inspirational, motivational quote you took a picture of because you think you're going to go back and you're going to look at that when you most need it, which you're not. You never do. And you just start going through all this shit, man. You're like, holy fuck, dude. There's so much shit in here that I don't need. Same with music, too. Like, I'll discover a piece of music that I really like, I want to listen to, and I'll download it. I'll listen to it once, be like, that's really cool. I really like this. I want to buy this album. But then I'll never listen to it again on my phone. It just takes up so much space. So much goddamn space. So yeah, glad to have some space freed up and I can make videos again. And one thing, what I want to talk about today, that actually hits really home for me, is the uglification of our world. The monochromization, if that's even a real word, which I don't think it is, of our world. The removal of color from our world. The removal of warm, inviting spaces from our world in places like our homes, in places like fast food restaurants, department stores, places that we work. Everything is starting to feel dull, lifeless, and just sad. And, I'm seeing more people post about this on Instagram. There's more YouTubers making videos about this stuff. And makes me realize I'm not alone in how I felt. And I've never liked the modern look. I've never liked it. I've always felt this way, that, just like the gray and white and the dulling of all these things that we like to deem, that we've now deemed outdated. I've never liked it. And it really got me thinking, because this place I live in is as old as me. I'm 26 years old. This place was built in 1999. This place has some things that I guess you can consider dated. It's got golden oak cabinets. It's got linoleum floors. It's got carpet. It's got some other features that I guess you don't really see too much anymore. But I like it. It's warm. It's inviting. It feels like a home. And with the way the world is nowadays, with all the weirdness that we see, with all the ugliness that we see, I think it's important more than ever to have a home that is warm, welcoming, and inviting, and is removed from the chaos of our time. I think it's really important. And I think for a lot of people, what that means is having a home that feels a bit like a time capsule. Feels like a home from the early 2000s or the 90s, when homes had a bit more of a warm aesthetic. And I was bummed the other day to find out, when one of the maintenance guys came in here to replace the smoke detectors, that they're going to be tearing out all the old floor, all the carpet, and they're just going to be putting laminate floors throughout the whole place. I was a little bummed. I like carpet. It's cozy underneath my feet. This is old carpet, so, you know, I get it replacing that because it is worn out in certain places. But why not just give it new carpet, you know? And why does the whole place need to be laminate flooring? Why not just do laminate flooring downstairs and leave the upstairs alone? They also said they're going to do new countertops, which I get. These are old countertops and they kind of need to go. But I'm just so tired of seeing just the coldness move into these once warm spaces. I'm tired of seeing the color removed from our world and seeing these houses flipped, and they're flipped to make them look nicer, but they look uglier. You know, they take all the color out of it and they just fit it in with gray and white, and that's it. And that's what you see everywhere. And that's the trend that you see amongst everything, and it's getting really old. And another thing that I can't fucking stand are LED lights. LED lights are horrible for your health. I don't care who says what. I don't care who says how good they are for energy efficiency. They're horrible for your health. They flicker, right? And you don't even see that they're flickering, but if I were to take a video of an LED light and have it be in slow motion, you would see it flickering. That's horrible for your health. That's horrible for your circadian rhythm. It's bad for your mitochondrial health. It's bad for just like your overall like endocrine system. It's horrible. So that's why I'm going analog. I'm going analog. And that doesn't mean that I'm gonna like not be a part of this world. You know, I'm still gonna have a phone, I'm still gonna have a computer, I'm still gonna have a gaming system because I like to play video games every now and then. You know, I'm not gonna completely go back to, you know, the old days. It's kind of hard to do that, let alone maybe even impossible if you want to fully function in today's world. But I'm going analog. You know, when I'm at home, I'm going to be analog. And I'm going to live in a way that I feel benefits me the most. And it got me thinking, with all this nostalgia stuff, is it nostalgia or is it wanting a simpler life that is more beneficial to who we are as humans? Because yes, you can look back at the past with rose-tinted glasses. You know, there is the what's the term? I forget the term, but it's like looking to the past. Once it's past, you all see it as being better. I know that is a thing, and we have to make the best of what we have now. But there is something to be said for the way that we lived not that long ago. We're only talking a couple of decades ago. Was more healthy for us, you know? Yeah, we had more clutter. Yeah, we had more shit, but our minds were free. And those things that we had, they meant something to us. You know, they meant something to who we were and how we lived. And they had value. Now, we have access to everything. But having all this access to all this stuff has taken the fun out of all this entertainment. It's taken the fun out of music. It's taken the fun out of watching movies. You know? And not just taking the fun away, it's taken the value from it too. And this is one of the reasons why I collect physical media. And I'm going to continue to collect physical media. Because it belongs to me. I own it. You know, I own it. And if you can't hold it, you don't own it. And it doesn't matter if you buy it online. Like all these video games that you can now buy, dude, that can be deleted. That can be taken from you. Even though you paid for it, there can be some glitch in the system where all of a sudden you don't have that game anymore. All that progress on that game, it's gone. So if you can't hold it, you don't own it. And I'm going to get a little conspiratorial here, but I feel like this minimalist, this push towards minimalism and all this stuff that's been digitized is and has been programming us to accept a world where we don't own anything. You know, the World Economic Forum and all those creeps, and how they talk about how you'll own nothing and you'll be happy? Well, that's kind of what I feel like this push towards minimalism, like extreme minimalism, has been about. And I don't think minimalism as a concept is a bad thing. I think you could have way too much shit that you don't do anything with, you know, and that you need to get rid of. You need to free up some clutter. I get that. But also owning stuff, having ties to certain physical items is what gives our lives and is what gives our communities something to hold on to. It's not just the only thing, but it is something. It's, you know, prized possessions. It's passed down through the family. You know, like my grandma owned this coffee table. Now my parents own it. Now I own it. And my parents, or excuse me, my kids and my grandkids will own that thing. It's passed down through generations. And more than ever, it seems like everybody is so quick to get rid of all their shit because it's just too much stuff without really thinking about the value of that stuff. They want to live so minimalist, you know? They want their houses to be bare bones, nothing in the house, nothing on the walls, nothing. And it's soulless. And it makes you think, okay, well, where does this lead? If we all accept this kind of way of life, could this potentially lead to a place where everybody rents everything and nobody owns anything? Could this lead to a place that every place that we move into will be furnished with whatever furniture that they have it furnished with? Not going to be our own furniture. Could this be that every source of entertainment that we want is not going to be something that we own or something that we hold? It's going to be something that we rent from somebody else. And as the world gets crazier, could it be that in order to have access to those things, you have to give up a huge part of your own personal sovereignty? Could it be in the future that in order to listen to your favorite music or watch one of your favorite movies, you're going to have to scan your fucking retinas? Or do some kind of thing that really is an invasion of your privacy? I see it going that way. I hope I'm wrong. But people that are not me, that talk about this stuff all the time, keep saying that this is what's going to come. And I can't help but see the way that people are being programmed around me, not saying that I'm better than anybody else, makes it seem that that is where we are going. Not owning anything. Okay, that means you're going to be a forever renter with everything in your life. Having no physical media means that you're going to rent and you're going to have to take permission from somebody else to have access to those things. So when I started collecting records 7 or 8 years ago, I wasn't thinking like this. I just thought, wow, this is really cool to actually own the real thing. You know, I've always loved this one album. It's so cool that I own this album and I can have it in my own hands. This is really neat. But now as the world has progressed and it's gotten weirder and these crazy, really conspiratorial ideas have become more mainstream, I start to realize and start to think whether or not my obsession with physical media and physical everything actually has more merit than I once originally thought. It makes me think. It makes me think, man. It makes me think. And I think it does. And that might sound narcissistic and it might sound arrogant, but I think if you're watching this and you have a love for media, like movies, and you like, music, I would say buy a record player, buy a good one, buy a receiver, invest in that, get some nice speakers, and start collecting just little by little. Maybe it doesn't have to be records. It could be CDs. You could do cassettes if you want to. I've started getting into cassettes. I think they're cool. I don't think they are the best investment, but they're cheap, and they're cool, and they play good. They actually sound really good. Point of the matter is, I own it. Point of the matter is, I own the damn thing. So, if you want to be healthy, if you want to feel that warmth of the world when you were a kid, when we were kids, all right, I'm 26 years old. I grew up in the 2000s. The world then still had more warmth, still had more color. Much of the aesthetics from the 80s and the 90s were still around. It wasn't until the 2010s that all the warmth started to be sucked out of everything. When McDonald's started to look like a fucking dentist office. And I don't like McDonald's. I never even went to McDonald's as a kid. But I remember McDonald's having the red roofs, and it was all colorful, and it looked like a place that a kid would like to go. Now it doesn't look like that. Nowhere looks like that. Everywhere is this boring ass fucking box, and it's beige, and it's soulless, dude. I'm tired of it. Get yourself some of these incandescent Christmas lights. You could get these at Walmart. I was so surprised they had these, and they're cheap. This is like $3. $3 for 100. You could pack up on these, and it still won't be that expensive. Go on eBay, Etsy, or wherever you can find them, and get yourself some incandescent light bulbs. These are 40 watts, 430 lumens. They're not the brightest, but they have that warm light to them. I have stocked up on these to the gills, and I'm going to keep doing that. I'm never going to let up on this. And people could say it's, behavior of a maniac, but honestly, dude, LEDs, after learning about what LEDs can do to your health, it makes me just go crazier with these. People are wondering why Christmas felt so much warmer as a kid. It's because they had these lights. Warm, incandescent bulbs. Not sterile LEDs that suck the life out of everything. So, as you can tell, I feel very strongly about this. And I don't know how you feel about this. But I'm going to cut this one off. Tell me how you feel. But I'm telling you, start to bring some warmth back in this world, man. Start to do some things the old way. Because if we don't, it's only gonna get more dull out there. More gross and more ugly. And I want to do my part to prevent that. I want to live in a world that's beautiful. And I want my kids to live in the same world too. All right. Peace and blessings. Take care.